The 5 stages of grief and how I apply them to recovery.
Welcome back to Broken Bobby's transformation page. In the late 80s, I became involved with drugs and would eventually become part of that lifestyle of trafficking, addiction, and violence. Over the next 20 years, I would be in and out of jail and prison. If you're thinking about trying something or you're dealing with addiction, your life don't need to go down the same path mine did. I hurt a lot of people, both physically and emotionally. These are my stories of how I transformed my life, and you can too. Let's get.
All right, guys, as you can see by the title and the thumbnail, this is the 5 stages of grief and how it applies to recovery. Um, Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Ayalar, who is the newest member of the channel. I truly appreciate your membership. And everybody that donated on the last live, shout out to you as well. Sorry, I don't have a list. It was pretty wild on that last one, so I wasn't able to jot anything down, but you know who you are, and I appreciate you. So, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, drop a comment, share the video. This may help somebody. Uh, and also, you can become a member like ILR. You hit that join button and take a look at the different levels of membership and go from there. So, the 5 stages of grief. What is it, and how does it apply, right? So I jotted down a few notes that it's been a while since I've gone over these, but I did a little bit of research, and it said the 5 stages of grief can be applied to most people's emotional journey while suffering from a painful loss or life-altering event. But mental health experts emphasize that every person's experience is unique. And I couldn't agree with that more. The thing is, I'm applying this to recovery, but it can also be applied to losing a loved one, um, uh, maybe getting a divorce, not, breaking up with your significant other, whatever it may be. But, I'm leaning towards the recovery part of this, but it can apply to any of those things, any life altering event, such as me trying to quit smoking. You know, uh, it's like it's a life changing event. Yeah, it's for the better, but I've lived my life a certain way for so long, and a lot of people can relate to that with addiction. If you've been an addict for years or even decades, trying to start something new, a new way of life, like that's a life altering issue. And that's where these 5 stages of grief come into play. Okay, so what are the 5 stages? The first stage is denial. Denial happens directly after a loss, may feel numb or disorientated. Um, and I'm going to relate this to the cigarettes for me. I haven't completely quit yet. I talked about it on the live the other night, but I've really scaled it down. I'm down to like 8 cigarettes a day. I was smoking like 30 plus cigarettes a day. So it's progress, not perfection, right? But, I noticed early on, you know, uh, like it's like I had like sort of a numb feeling like, wow, is this what it really is? And, I always say, it's one day at a time, but we tend to get ahead of ourselves, right? We looking at like, wow, I can never do this again. And I know that as much as I know that it's harming my body, it's what I'm used to. Okay. So, so we're in that denial stage, right? We can't believe it. Like, uh, uh, this applies really well to the loss of a loved one, because I remember when my grandmother passed away, I wasn't there, and, I had been told, but like, I didn't want to go by her house. because once I went by her house, then it wouldn't be denial anymore because she wasn't there, you know? Um, but like I said, this applies to the recovery thing as well. The second stage of grief is anger. Anger often shows up as people start to come to terms with their losses. And honestly, anger is a better feeling than denial, in my opinion, because it is an emotion, and it I can be mad at something, and I can punch a punching bag or something, or I'm not saying that we should go out there and act violently in this anger stage, but it's very emotional. Now we're coming to terms that we're not that addict anymore, or we're not smoking cigarettes, or we're not drinking, and we're kind of getting past the denial part, and now there's some emotions that come out, and there may be some anger there. Okay, so once we're in that anger stage, the next stage, the third stage of grief, is bargaining. With bargaining, it says someone in the bargaining stage may be looking for a shred of hope that the loss can be reversed. So, I used that one with the smoking because I couldn't do it cold turkey, so I'm bargaining, right? Okay, well, I'll smoke 6 a day, I'll smoke 8 a day, whatever. And it this is a process that I think is going to work for me, but with some things, that bargaining is kind of a doozy, because we want to keep pushing forward in a positive direction. So once we're going through the bargaining phase, the next phase is depression, and this one, for a lot of people, is the worst one. It says it is when someone in grief is feeling deep sadness. And the thing with depression can, like, overwhelm your body. There may be days where you just don't even want to get out of bed. Depression can be a really bad one. So I would suggest, if you're going through this phase, you may want to seek counseling. Dial 988 on your cell phone, and they can assist you with getting you somebody to talk to that can maybe help you process what you're going through and push forward to the final stage. Now, stage 5 of grief is acceptance. And this is ultimately where we want to get, right? We were in denial, we were angry, we were bargaining, we were depressed, and now that we've worked through all of these stages, we've come to acceptance. And acceptance is a wonderful thing. If I feel like if you don't, if all of these stages of grief, it's not cut and dry for everybody. Not everybody's going to go into a depression, a deep depression, anyways, but, eventually we end up at acceptance. And it says, at last, the final stage of grief. It will look different for everyone in every situation, but acceptance is categorized as coming to terms with the loss and making peace with the situation. So this is where we want to get, right? We want to come to acceptance. And once we do, then, it's still not going to bring back our loved one, or, on that aspect, but at least you're accepting of it and you can move forward with our addictions. For me, when I was able to accept the fact that I wasn't an addict anymore, and I wasn't going to live that way anymore, life became so much better. So, um, that is the 5 stages of grief, and how I applied those to my recovery. That was actually part of the itinerary in one of the rehabs that I went to, and it it's good to be able to recognize, that these are normal behaviors and ways of thinking, because when you quit doing something, people may think that you've become unhinged or something, but you're just going through the normal process of the stages of grief. And I think awareness of this may be able to help some people. So I ask that you share the video. um, If you like the video, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. Drop a comment and tell me what you think. Which one was the hardest for you? Did you go through the 5 stages? Uh, how was your experience with it? I'm not an expert on this stuff by any means. I did go to school to be a drug and alcohol counselor, and this was part of the studies there as well. But you know, it's a different situation for everybody when it comes to this stuff. So I hope everybody is having a good day. I should be live later on tonight, Saturday. So be on the lookout for that. I didn't go to work today because I was really sick earlier. Feeling a little better now. Was not quite good enough to do a live tonight, but I figured I would try to get some content out. Um, Anyways, like I said, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit that like button, drop a comment, and share the video. Shout out to ALR for being the newest member, and you could become a member too. Just hit that join button and select a level, and share the video. It may help somebody. So, like I always say, it's all about the people that you surround yourself with is who you're going to be. Show me a person's friends, and I'll show you who that person is. We need to build that strong support group around us in order to be able to achieve things that are different. So, anyways, that's what I got. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to share this video, and don't look at the mountain. Just start climbing.